Well, the White House is saying the COVID pandemic here at home is not over after an outbreak among top political figures in Washington, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. National Correspondent Logan Ratick live for us on Capitol Hill to tell us where it all began and who's now infected. Logan, good morning.
Good morning, Emma. And Pelosi's office made the announcement that she tested positive for COVID Thursday, just before she was supposed to come out for her weekly Capitol press conference. Now, her Deputy Chief of Staff, Drew Hamill, tweeted out, quote, "After testing negative this week, Speaker Pelosi received a positive test result for COVID-19 and is currently asymptomatic. The Speaker is fully vaccinated and boosted and is thankful for the robust protection the vaccine has provided." Now, Pelosi is currently quarantining. She was supposed to be going on a trip to Taiwan, which actually drew threats from the Chinese Communist Party, but that trip is now postponed because of her diagnosis for COVID-19. Now, this is the latest in a series of positive COVID cases here in Washington, D.C. A lot of them have come after the attendance Saturday at the Gridiron Club dinner. Now, Pelosi was not there, but people who tested positive that were at that event include Attorney General Merrick Garland, Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, as well as Congressman Adam Schiff. Now, Pelosi was also at a bill signing at the White House earlier this week. She came very close to President Biden, but the president is not isolating. And here's what White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki had to say on that issue.
How can you guys say that President Biden was not a close contact with Speaker Pelosi when there is video of the Speaker kissing him?
Well, Peter, the way that it is defined is by the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, and their definition of it is 15 minutes of contact within a set period of time and within 6 feet. It did not meet that bar.
And after the confirmation vote for President Biden's Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson, who will be replacing Stephen Breyer on the high court, both Republican Senator Susan Collins and Democrat Senator Raphael Warnock announced that they both tested positive for COVID-19. Now, most lawmakers have left town for the weekend, but there are still some Democrats that remain. They will be going to the White House for a ceremony for Ketanji Brown Jackson. It's very similar to that ceremony we saw a couple years ago for Justice Amy Coney Barrett. With President Trump in the White House, the media and Democrats referred to that as a super spreader event. But again, that will be held today at the White House. President Biden will be there, even though he's tested negative, despite being super close to Nancy Pelosi. Emma, back to you.
Yeah, kissing distance. We saw it from the photos there. Logan Ratick, thank you very much for your reporting. More now on White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who, as we heard her say, the so-called super spreader event at the White House did not violate CDC protocol. And we'll show you the CDC reporting this. What technically defines someone who could be at risk for COVID here. A close contact is someone who was less than 6 feet away from an infected person for a cumulative total of 15 minutes or more over a 24-hour period. For example, 3 individual 5-minute exposures for a total of 15 minutes. People who are exposed to someone with COVID-19 after they completed at least 5 days of isolation are not considered close contacts there. If you've been keeping up with the CDC, that's their latest guidance. Let's bring in our panelists now, Jennifer Nassour, Tom Borelli, and Donna Jackson here. Jen, what do you make of everyone testing positive, but not qualifying a super spreader event, according to Jen Psaki?
Again, it is the Democratic hypocrisy that goes on over and over and over again. This is hysterical, because if this was the Trump administration or if this was any Republican administration, it would be considered a super spreader event, and it would be those bad, evil Republicans who are once again doing what they want to do and not listening to us because we're smarter. And so that's exactly what's going on here. And it's laughable to listen to her. Jen Psaki, instead of going to MSNBC, should go work for Webster's Dictionary, because she clearly has a very tough, understanding of what meanings are. But they're interpreted by her consistently.
Well, we've got to look at how MSNBC covered a Trump event back in 2020. Let's watch together.
What happened last night was dangerous. It was in violation of the president's administration's own health guidelines. There was no social distancing. There were no masks. The chairs were about 6 to 8 inches apart. Most people who came into the lawn last night, we talked to White House aides, most people were not tested. tested, just a few select people who are near the front.
So an RNC event there, Tom, which was met with some negative criticism there and negative coverage. Now, the White House says things are different now. There's more access to vaccinations. And of course, a lot of these individuals who have tested positive were vaccinated, some even boosted as well. But what does this tell you more about the media coverage of COVID?
Well, Emma, once again, we're seeing the advocacy journalism at MSNBC and other liberal Democrat networks at work. Clearly, there's a double standard. If it's Trump, a Trump event, and you're a conservative Republican, it's bad. If you're a Democrat, there's no super spreader event. And Psaki pulls out this twisted definition of exposure from the CDC, which, my undergraduate degree in microbiology, that makes absolutely no sense, defining it to such a degree. So again, it's just the liberals gone wild, whether it be the Democrats or whether it be the media that defends them constantly. The tragedy here is the American people can't get the truth because you can't get a straight answer from anybody.
Yeah, we're looking for honesty here, Donna. Is that missing in this moment?
They don't know what honesty means because they keep changing the definition. They despise the American people. They think that they're too stupid to get ID cards. So, of course, they're going to change the rules whenever it comes to big shots versus the little people. And they're always lecturing down to us. So, there's no sense of honesty because they get to define what honesty is. And it's always going to be whatever they say it is and never what we believe it is.
Well, here's an example, and I'll post this to Jennifer. Rolling Stone is now telling you, essentially, don't believe your own eyes here. They're saying that Fox News doctored clips of Obama's visit to the White House to make it seem like Biden was lost. Going on to say he does look a little confused in some of the clips, but it's only because he's looking for someone. Perhaps Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, whom he brings up on stage a little later on. Now, Jennifer, when you are watching this clip, what do you see?
I see a very confused older man who looks like he's not really sure what he's supposed to be doing. I don't see a leader. And unfortunately, when you look at Obama and him standing next to each other, and Obama is significantly more sharp and younger, you see two different types of people standing there. And I think that is very clear. I also would like to say, is Rolling Stone pulling a Putin? Don't believe what you see. It's what we tell you it is. That's ridiculous.
Right, and it's to that clip in particular. Again, maybe he was looking for someone else, but we can all watch together that he was either being ignored or looking for some direction as to where to go next. Thank you to our Friday panelists, Jennifer Nassour, Tom Borelli, and Donna Jackson. We appreciate your time. Thanks for the conversation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.